It finally happened. 4 years after the movie was announced, with dozens of urban names being offered the roles, we finally have our Fantastic Four cast. Marvel randomly dropping the news on Valentine's Day was the best surprise ever. Really can't believe that it's finally happened after years of anticipation. I was genuinely shaking seeing the news, I couldn't believe it. And after thinking over for a bit, in my opinion, this lineup for Marvel's first family is fantastic.
Say that again?
Hey, no, you get out of here. I don't want to see your face again. We are finally free from that awful adaptation. Up first, of course, we have Mr. Fantastic himself, who's being played by Pedro Pascal, and for me, personally, this is an amazing choice because he's my favorite actor right now. For the last few years, I've watched everything he's in, from The Mandalorian to The Last of Us to even We Can Be Heroes on Netflix, which it's not worth it, but I've been infatuated with everything he's done. I think he's a phenomenal actor and will kill everything he does. He's never given a bad performance, and I am so excited to see him officially being cast as Reed in this movie. Now, he wasn't my first choice, I'll say that right away. I think other people like William Jackson Harper, I really was pushing for. Dev Patel, I thought would have made a great Reed. Glenn Howerton also would have been a really good choice, but Pedro, I think he's gonna kill it. He's got enough range as an actor that he can pull off that wholesome nerd aspect with Reed while also dealing with the unquenchable thirst for knowledge he has and showing that sometimes he can be a little cold and calculating, but it's not like a malicious thing. It's just a wholesome kind of anxiety thing that Reed has where he's not really good at talking to other people, but it just makes him more endearing. And that's the part of Reed I want to see they focus on in this movie. A lot of people online have this misconception that Reed Richards is a terrible person and a bad father. No, he's just a wholesome nerd, and I really want to see them focus on that aspect, and I think Pedro can really pull that off. Pedro obviously has the experience playing a father, so if they ever wanted to introduce Franklin and Valeria, it would make a lot of sense, and I think this is a perfect role to bring him into the MCU, and I was over the moon when he got cast. Like I said, he's my favorite actor. I've seen a lot of people kind of uneasy on the casting, but I think it's just because he's a little more out of the box than you'd expect for a Reed Richards actor. I think he's going to do a great job. I'm really excited to see his take on Reed because I think he has a lot of star power and versatility as an actor he can bring to the role that will give us the perfect Reed Richards. Then we have the Invisible Woman, Sue Storm, who will be played by Vanessa Kirby, which I think is flawless casting. I've been pushing for her to be Sue online for months. She's always been my top choice, and I think she's gonna kill it. If you lifted Sue right out of the comics, you would have Vanessa Kirby. This is picture perfect casting. I mean, just look at her. That is Sue Storm right there. Everything I've seen her in, she's always given a great performance, from most recently the Mission Impossible movies where she plays the White Widow. She doesn't have much to do in those films, but every time she's on screen, she just has such a captivating presence. She always commands the scene and is so charismatic in the role. I could watch her play any character and always find something interesting about it. She's just such a talented actress, and even in a movie that's not very good like Hobbs and Shaw, I think she's probably the best part of that because she just steals every scene she's in. She's so talented, and she has that background in action movies that you're going to want going into the Fantastic Four, especially because it's rumored that Sue is going to be the lead of this movie, which I think is a great choice. This should have been the status quo from the beginning because she has the most connections with all the team members. She's obviously married to Reed. She's Johnny Storm's sister, so you have that connection there, and she knows Ben through Reed, and I think exploring the team through her eyes makes perfect sense. This is what we should have been doing for years. A lot of people don't realize this. She's the strongest member of the team by far. It's not just invisibility and force field. She can control light as we know it, so that's making everybody else invisible, that's making specific things invisible. It's a really powerful ability, and I'm excited to see her take on Sue. I think she's going to bring a lot to the role that nobody else would. It's flawless casting. You could not do better than her. She seems really passionate about the character. She's been asked about this a lot in the past, and she's always said it'd be an honor to play Sue, and I really just can't wait to see her play Marvel's First Lady. Up next, you have Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, who's going to be played by Joseph Quinn of Stranger Things fame. Now, he's the only one I'm a little unsure about. His name's been thrown around for a few months, and I've always not really been able to picture him as Johnny. He's never had that energy to me. I've not really been sold on it. That being said, seeing him in the art on that poster they released, I think this can work. Obviously, they cast him for a reason. Marvel Studios has not missed with their casting, and being able to picture him in the role, I think he's able to do this. There's been a lot of reports lately that he's been blowing studios away as an actor. I enjoyed him in Stranger Things. I think he did a great job, and I'm more than willing to give him a chance. I think just because I wasn't sure about it doesn't mean he should be excluded from the role. There's been a lot of backlash online to this casting because maybe some people just don't think he can bring out that hot-headed side of Johnny where he's kind of a douche, but you kind of love him, and he's the comedic relief of the team. And I think, well, yeah, on the surface, Joseph doesn't really portray that. He's an actor. It's his job to act, and he can 100% pull that off. So while he might not be my top choice for the role and he wasn't someone I was actively pushing for, I hope that he proves everyone wrong. I want to see him succeed in this role because I think there's a lot of potential for him to be a really big part of the team, and I want him to stand out and succeed. People like to judge casting before they've seen anything, but casting directors most of the time know what they're doing. This same backlash has happened when Heath Ledger was cast as the Joker or Robert Pattinson was cast as Batman. We just need to be patient and watch how it plays out. I'm confident that they did this for a reason, and I'm really interested to see what his take on Johnny is, because Johnny plays a very important role in the team. He's got great dynamics with Ben, of course, that like comedic duo, a nice wholesome relationship with Sue, and I'm hopeful that Joseph is able to bring that side out. And finally, rounding out the team is Ben Grimm the Thing, played by Eben Moss-Bachrach, who, without hyperbole, I truly mean this, is a top 5 comic book movie casting choice of all time. He's been my top choice for months. I've been pushing for this really hard because the Thing is the hardest member of the Fantastic Four to cast. You need to have someone who's lovable and also has that gravelly voice that sounds tough, and most importantly, he needs to be Jewish. The Thing is Marvel's most prominent Jewish character, and getting this casting right, especially when Marvel Studios has lacked on Jewish casting in the past, is incredibly important, and they nailed it. I am so happy we can say that Eben is our Thing, because my god is this casting phenomenal. He's got the blue eyes, which you need to be the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing. I mean, look at those. They are bright baby blue eyes that you could just get lost in, to the extent where we might need to get him some contacts. His voice is perfect for the Thing. I can imagine that coming out of a big rock monster. He's that New Yorkie accent. It's so good, and I cannot wait to hear him acting as Ben. And of course, most importantly, he's a Jewish actor, so you'll have that authentic representation, which is very important for this character. Obviously, he's gotten a lot of attention for his performance on The Bear as Cousin Richie. By the way, phenomenal show. He does an amazing job as that, and I cannot wait to see Cousin as the Thing. I am so pumped about this. You could not get anyone better for the Thing. This is up there with like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Iman Vellani as Ms. Marvel. This is spot on casting in every way, and I just know he's gonna kill it. The Thing is probably my favorite member of the Fantastic Four, so hearing that he's gonna be bringing that character to life in a way that is authentic and does the character justice makes me so happy, and I just cannot wait to see what he does. And also, I haven't even mentioned the most important thing about this news reveal. If you look in the corner there, Herbie's gonna be in this movie, the Fantastic Four's little robot sidekick who made his debut in the new Fantastic Four cartoon because they were afraid children were gonna light themselves on fire seeing the Human Torch, so they replaced him with Herbie. He's gonna be in this movie. This is all I've ever wanted. I love Herbie so much. He's so cute. I would die for him in a heartbeat. I think we should let him be the star of the movie. You know what? No, scratch that. Herbie Cinematic Universe. Let's get rid of the MCU. We need Herbie focused everything from now on. This is the most important thing ever, and I need Herbie to be a big focus of this because I love him, and I'm so happy that they put him in this movie. Also, I quickly just want to appreciate this poster in general because that 60s aesthetic they went with is gorgeous. I really love this hand-drawn poster style and hope for all the marketing going forward they use that because I think it fits the vibe they're going for really well. And I think it's a great idea for this movie to take place in the past. I really hope they go in that direction because having the Fantastic Four be explorers lost through time is a great way to explain where they've been and keep them as Marvel's first superhero team. Their group is synonymous with the 60s era, and I think it fits their vibe really well, so making the movie take place back then, it also adds a specific charm because we haven't really seen the 60s in the MCU, so having that be the Fantastic Four's time period kind of sets them apart from everything else, and we get to explore them in an era where there are no superheroes, and things are a lot simpler. And hopefully they lean into the fact that the Fantastic Four are explorers and scientists. They're not crime fighters, they are scientists trying to chart new territories and make new discoveries, and I really want to see that be the focus of the group in this movie. And my god, those suits are amazing. I really wanted to keep this design because not only do they fit the time period, but they're so simple and it'll make them stand out. That white and blue Fantastic Four suit combo is my favorite, and I hope that they keep them and don't get a replacement because they're not over-designed or anything like that. They look gorgeous. The Fantastic Four are probably my favorite superhero team. It's important that Pedro and Vanessa have strong chemistry together, but I already love their vibe from the poster alone and the way that they're dancing together. And then you have Ben and Johnny, who have such a fun and chaotic dynamic that works so well. I'm just excited to see them finally get done right after 3 live-action adaptations that were all just so messy. The 90s TV movie never got a proper release, and the early 2000s films had a perfect cast but a fundamental misunderstanding of the team, and we don't talk about the 2015 movie. Still to this day, the worst superhero adaptation I've ever seen. But the hype is real for the MCU to finally introduce the Fantastic Four, and I think this news is a great indication on how things will go. It's important that they deliver a faithful version of Marvel's first family, and I trust that they know what they're doing. Director Matt Shakman is very passionate about these characters, so I believe that the MCU's version is going to exceed expectations and deliver a truly fantastic film. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.